Hello and welcome to DriftTV. I'm your host Jesse McDonald and it's an absolute pleasure to have your company. I'll be with you over the course of the show. During the show we have drifting highlights from Queensland Raceway, Stanthorpe, Archerfield, some Drift All-Stars from the Europe and some short clips from Gympie Off-Road Short Course and Power Cruise Night. In Tech Talk, Kris Frome talks hints and tips about improving your car and your driving. In Driver DNA, we meet with international FD driver Forrset Wang, world time attack winner Michael Rosenbalt, world-class drifters Luke Fink, Josh Boettcher, Kris Frome, ADGP winner Rob White, our Hollywood Mad Max driver and drifter Eugene Artisan, Speedway champion Shane Heathcote, and we can't forget our special guest, Red Bull V8 supercar driver Shane Van Gisbergen. So there's plenty of action to keep you entertained and strapped down. It's that time of the show where we must crack on with it. I'm Jesse McDonald and you're watching DriftTV. Got any advice for younger kids coming through the ranks that want to make it?
Yeah, just, if it's what you don't want to do, put your mind and heart and soul into it, and you got to do it because you enjoy it. That's why I did it. Didn't, I had a goal and just pushed and had as much fun as I could, and it worked out. But yeah, if you want to do it, just commit.
Was your goal always to drive V8?
Sorry?
Was your goal always to drive V8?
No, not really. Just always to be the fastest, have fun, race whatever I could.
Yeah, advice to young guys want to come through into drifting. I guess if they want to come through and get into the competitive side and take it to compete overseas and all the things that, is definitely available. My advice is presentation is probably number one. Your presentation of your vehicle and of yourself, and the way you conduct yourself on social media, and the way you conduct yourself even in the pits. It's amazing how many people I've met in the pits or have met me and I've not realised, and they've led to sponsorship deals in the future because of just the way I spoke to that stranger. My biggest sponsor still to this day, I met him, I didn't know who he was. I spent half an hour with him just in the car mucking around and didn't realise that he was, who he was. And it's amazing how many eyes are on you when you're at an event that you don't expect. If you're sitting in the event swearing with your mates and all that stuff, you could just put off the person that can take you to the top. And I think a lot of people forget that. I think, if you, and not to think too highly of yourself either. If you're doing well at drifting, that's all great, but to be humble. A lot of people sit back and they appreciate that side of it too when they want to use you to market their brand or business. So
my advice to younger guys is, I don't know, I guess when I started drifting, I didn't consider drifting as, something I was pursuing to make a living out of. I didn't pursue it as I want to go to Formula Drift. I didn't pursue it as I want to be a pro. Like, I just drifted because it's fun. And I think, I've kept that going my whole life, you know what I mean? Like, if the competitions and everything went away tomorrow, like, I'm still going to drift. So I'm going to drift for the fun of it. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, if it gets to a point where your total aim is to become a pro and you're going to get paid to drift and everything, like, I'll be straight out. Like, there's near Buckley's chance of it happening. Like, the list of guys getting paid, I could count on one hand in the world. It just doesn't happen. It's in my opinion the best sport in the world, but it's not mainstream.
You're watching DriftTV.
Tech Talk today, we're talking about your handbrake. Now when you're learning to drive and you're still just driving your street car and taking it to the track and having a bit of fun, your factory standard handbrake is more than good enough to get you by, especially if you got a Skyline. Sometimes you might want something a bit better if you've got a Sylvia. But the next level for all drifters is a hydraulic handbrake. This is the ultimate control of the handbrake of the car. Not only can you lock up the wheels nice and quick and hard, you can also trim the rear brakes and the speed of the rear tires at the same time. Now this is a pass-through system. The advantage of this one that I prefer is that it actually uses the standard factory caliper on the back wheels. So I don't have to put a secondary caliper on, it just runs off the one set of brake pads. And the advantage that this gives me is that anytime I pull that handbrake, I know with confidence that those back wheels are going to lock up, and both of them are going to lock up at the same time. So when I need to make adjustments, I'm always there.
You're watching DriftTV.
Right, so as far as advice I would give someone coming up in the ranks to get into competitive drifting, the first thing they got to decide is whether or not they actually want to be a competitive drifter. You know, there's a lot of fantastic drivers out there that enjoy the Matsuri, the fun little events, those sort of things, and if that's the best thing that they enjoy and they're happy with that, I reckon stay with it, because when you get up to that next level, the stress, the monetary, the involvement, the next level things, it is a big commitment and it's not a simple thing to do. So you got to be able to commit to it and stay to it strong. With the guys that actually want to get up into that level and get up to the next thing, one thing they're going to have to learn is how to promote and interact with potential sponsors and people that might want to help them. You know, we can't get up to the highest level without support. Whether that be even family support, friend support, and sponsors and corporate support. One thing they need to remember whenever they're going up into that next level, you could be the best driver in the world, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be the most marketable for them. You know, some of the guys that I know, even internationally, have the most sponsors, might not necessarily be the best drivers. They're not winning championships, they're not doing everything, but you know, they're passionate about the sport, they market themselves well, they're very friendly when it comes to talking to the public, they spend that extra time. You know, this is at the level now where, you know, you have to go to an event and just park the car and talk to people. You know, show them the passion that you have for the sport, and that's going to make you look a lot better in the eyes of potential sponsors and things like that too. You know, when you are talking to a person that might want to come on board with you, you know, it's a fact of, you know, it's not just them giving you money or product or support. You've got to give back. There's nothing for free in this world, you know. Basic things, you've got to give them the reports. After every event, you have to give them a report to say what happened, what you did, what the main thing. And don't just automatically assume that that company or that person that's supporting you is on social media or watches your Facebook page. That's not going to be the major thing. You need to show them exactly what you're doing, what return on investment you're giving to that potential sponsor. You know, there's so many sponsors or corporations that are going, oh, you know, let's get involved with this guy, put their money behind it, and I know for a fact now they're turning around and going, oh, I don't want to, he won't even send me a photo, or, you know, he just thinks that we're not doing enough. But you've got to start small and build it up from there. You know, I've had sponsors come and go through the years, and you can never get angry at them. You can never, when they change, you know, marketing, it's still a business for them. But you always got to support them, you know, regardless of what's doing, and, you know, help promote their business. If they can't see a return for their business from what you're trying to do, then it's not going to make them come back next year and do more for you. So they're the extra above and beyond. So this doesn't happen automatic, and it doesn't happen simply, and it is a long, drawn-out process, especially in Australia. But yeah, just keep at it, and but make sure, do the basic things. Make your car look good. Spray it one color. You know, put a bit of effort into making it. Doesn't have to look perfect. It's got the basic 10-meter rule. If the car looks good from 10 meters away, then they're going to like it. But, you know, make it so their products and their brands start out. Help with your friends, the guys that have the local businesses and stuff like that. They're the ones that are going to work with you, and then you can look at stuff later on from there.
Welcome back. Hope you're enjoying what you're seeing, and there's plenty more to come. I'm Jesse McDonald, and this is DriftTV.
You're watching DriftTV.
the young guys coming through, I think just keep it fun, you know. I got to the stage, we got so competitive, I'm just like, just make it fun, make it with your mates, you know, just get out there, be smooth and safe and just have fun. That's what drifting's about, I think, in the long run, you know. As long as you're having fun, that's all it's about.
Advice for young drifters would be just get out there and have a go. You know, don't sit in the shed and build something wild and think that you know that's what you need to drift. You don't need anything wild. Just start something basic, something small, and just go out and enjoy it. Learn from something small and work your way up, and be able to just have fun with it. Really, that's all that matters. It's just the fun of coming out and battling with people, and you know, making new friends. That's what it's all about.
Some advice for up-and-coming drivers would be get as many tires as you can, just so you can practice as much as you can. And they don't even have to be good tires, like scrappies, dead, you know, takeoffs, whatever you call them. Get as many of those as you can and stack them up in the back of your house. And the more the better, because you can never have too many tires. I mean, this sport's really hard on tires, and tires are almost like, you know, a wealth. If you got tires, you know, you can go and drive. If you got a car that you can put tires on, you're good to go. Suspension's very key. Get your suspension dialed in before you build the engine. You can have all the power in the world, but if your suspension don't work right, it's not gonna drift right. So make sure you get your steering and your suspension dialed in, and then work on the power, because that'll teach you car control and driving, and then you can always add power and it'll get easier. But if you have power and you don't know how to drive a car, you're kind of working backwards. So definitely suggest getting the suspension, all that set up before you start trying to build yourself a rocket ship. That way you get the hang of the control of the car before, you know, you got the speed. Because you can definitely drift with a slow car, but if you don't know how to control a fast car, it might just end up in the bin.
Definitely get help to start with. When I was learning, we never had anyone to teach us anything. We'd watch option VHS, that's how long ago it was, and we'd kind of watch it, and it's all in Japanese, and we go, oh yeah, I think I see what he's doing, and it would take us 3 months to try and figure out what he was actually doing. Whereas somewhere up here, we can tell you in 5 minutes, all right, you're doing this right, you're doing this not so good, try this. And you can progress massively well and quickly. Whereas trying to do it by yourself, you won't be progressing, you'll just be trying to chase your tail the whole time.
You're watching DriftTV.
Welcome back, and it's that time of the show again where we say goodbye. And remember to visit www.drifttv.com.au. Have a look around our site where we have highlights of drifting, and as well visit our shop where we have t-shirts and some caps you can get and style out. Well, that's all we have for you tonight. It was a pleasure having your company. I'm Jesse McDonald, and this is Drift TV.
Yeah, I might need a push.